Hello there, I am Shaun McLaren, and today I will be playing some Esper Control. That's right, Esper Control. Actual Esper Control in Modern. So the main thing that makes me drawn to Esper Control now of all times is, of course, Fatal Push, the hot new card in the Modern format. Great card right now for a lot of reasons. I mean, just a great piece of removal and great against Death Shadow in particular. Kills Tarmogoyf, kills Death Shadow. Boom. Also, Path can say the same about Path. Kills Tarmogoyf, kills Death Shadow. Which makes this deck, in theory, reasonably good against the hot new deck in Modern, like one of the best decks in Modern, one of the newest decks in Modern, Death Shadow. You also have Snapcaster, which is going to be great with Fatal Push and Path, or Certain Visions. So pretty nice, cheap interaction in Fatal Push and Path to Exile. So we're going to be backing that up with a bunch of great card draw in Esper Charm. Esper Charm, incredibly versatile. Being able to draw 2 cards is going to be your most used mode, but you can make your opponent discard 2 cards, which is nice interaction with their hand, which the deck otherwise lacks in the main deck. And of course you can destroy an enchantment, which not that relevant in Modern, but it certainly does come up every so often. And of course it is instant speed, 3 mana, so just very efficient card. Esper Charm is certainly a good Esper card. Have mana leaks as well. Also just efficient interaction. Going to be good backing up the cheap creature removal. Have sort of the opposite end of the spectrum, cheap spell, cheap whatever interaction, deal with whatever, and then think twice for a bit more card draw. Cryptic commands are going to do a lot of work in the deck. Great with Snapcaster Mage, great at just tapping down your opponent's creatures, especially since we have 3 Supreme Verdicts, so can actually tap down your opponent's creatures for a couple turns to dig for Supreme Verdict. And then Jace is just going to be a nice little filler option that sort of acts as a roadblock for your opponent. Good to cast on an empty board, card advantage, potential win condition, so just a little Jace sneaks in there. Elspeth is going to also be a much more powerful win condition. Also a semi-wrath effect, or just a way to take over a game that you're ready to start ending the game with, or create a bunch of chump blockers even if you have to do that. Logic Knot is going to be more powerful than Mana Leak. Of course, a bit more blue mana to cast it, and potentially a lot worse in the early game, but much better in the late game, so we have a 2-2 split there. And then of course Sphinx's Revelation is going to be life gain and just win you the game once you have 7+ lands or what have you. Mana base, pretty standard, a bunch of fetch lands, which are great for triggering Fatal Push, so don't forget to keep those uncracked some of the time if Fatal Push is relevant. And then Celestial Colonnades are actually going to be our main win condition, is just colonnading in our opponent's face once we are massively ahead and have taken over the game. The sideboard definitely wants some hand interaction in Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize plays a dual role of not only disrupting your opponent, but giving you a bunch of information on what you should be countering, how you should be sequencing your land drops, using your Esper Charms, using your cryptic commands, etc. Dispel is just excellent backup to Cryptic Command, or just great in some matchups. Great interaction. Relic is going to kind of hurt the deck some of the time, since you have Snapcaster and Think Twice, but a lot of the time it's going to hurt your opponent much more than it hurts you. Well, it rarely hurts you anyways, and also just cycles at worst if you need an extra card. Fill out the Path to Exiles, just want the super efficient removal in some matchups. Blessed Alliance is going to be mostly for the burn matchup, but also hits a lot of important creatures like Slippery Boggle or giant, semi-giant Eldrazi that are reality smashing your face. Stony Silence, just a one-of to catch Affinity or Tron or Lantern or what have you. Negate, just solid interaction and solid counterspell. A little bit less efficient than Dispel, but still great. Force Supreme Verdict, because why not? Just really punish those creature decks. And then Engineered Explosives is going to sort of play a dual role as a Supreme Verdict, but also dealing with problem permanence as well. So yeah, that's the deck. I mean, pretty straightforward. Counter your opponent's stuff, remove their creatures, and just get card advantage, and hope they don't kill you. So let's see it in action.